centuries ago, famed mathematician Katherine Johnson wrote, "The whole idea of going into space was new and daring. There were no textbooks, so we had to write them." Now, the United Federation of Planets stands on a new brink of exploration and learning, yet again pushing beyond the bounds of contemporary understanding, and for a new dawn proclaim proudly once again, these are the Voyages of.
Captain's Log. The Cerynitis was tasked with investigating a rogue comet in the Mescalius system. This comet, which has an erratic and irregular course, appears to veer dangerously close to planets without being pulled in by gravity. As we attempted to maneuver within scanning range of the comet, we learned it was another large crystalline entity similar to the one that attacked Omicron Theta. We were prepared to withdraw from the system in order to study the creature from a distance when we received a Federation distress call from the USS Bajora, which disappeared several years ago. The entity is moving slower than expected, which may give us just enough time to make it to Mescalius 7 and rescue the survivors of the Bajora before the planet is destroyed.
You have to go to the planet and... Hello! Thank you all for joining us. My name is John Kennedy, and welcome to the Voyages of here on Rook and Rasp. We are following the story of the USS Cerynitis as it continues its mission to explore the Gamma Quadrant. We are using the Star Trek Adventures role-playing game rules from Modiphius Entertainment, and as a reminder, we are in no way affiliated with Modiphius, we just really enjoy their game. I'm John Kennedy, and tonight joining me is Amber Jacoba as Commander Halata, Rob Jacoba as Commander Chagrin, Jen Brazas as Commander Anbara Anya, and Danny DeLisle as Lieutenant Rozrin Irax. Alright, now as you're watching us tonight on stream, you might notice that you'll be earning some points known as Cluthulus. Cluthulus can be used to purchase many great things in the channel, such as rerolls, momentum. You can also, if you spend enough Cluthulus, you get to name an NPC, which we will try to incorporate into tonight's adventure. You can make up anybody from, who knows, an ensign who's down in his luck and always gets hit by phaser blasts, or put your favorite NPC somewhere.
So that's Cthulhu's, that's bits.
Oh, bits?
Yeah, naming NPCs is bits.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, well, you use the bits to name an NPC. Either way, we certainly appreciate your support, and thank you again for joining us tonight. All right, so the USS Cerynitis was exploring, doing what Starfleet's original mission was to be. Go off to strange new worlds, see brand new locations. When you spotted the strange entity going near the Mescalius system, as your ship had to withdraw because these entities are very dangerous, they are extremely dangerous even for a ship such as yours, you received a distress call from the USS Bajora. All of you don't need to make a roll for this. What you remember about the USS Bajora is that it was one of the Federation's first long-term research vessels sent into the Gamma Quadrant, and it was notable because a small portion of the crew were Bajoran as part of a Bajoran Federation exchange program. It was thought to have been destroyed by the Dominion, who took responsibility for destroying the ship, but now you're hearing a distress call from the planet. So first thing I'm going to ask is, where are you on the ship right now?
All right. We're on the Cerynitis, correct?
Yes.
I will probably, since this is all going down, assuming I would be on the bridge to offer advice and insight.
Yeah, I mean, if we just got out of a situation, probably on the bridge as well.
Okay. Rozrin?
Yeah, Rozrin would be probably, I mean, if there's this dangerous entity and all of that, he'd probably be up on the bridge, to get any information that he can about any security risks firsthand.
Okay. And Halada, are you on the bridge as well?
Do you mean me?
Sorry, wrong one. Yeah. What's the problem when I'm reading through
Yeah,
it?
Anbara. I think she would have probably initially been in engineering, to make sure that everything was fine after, doing the perfunctory sweeps after encountering whatever entities or whatever. But probably would have been called to the bridge to consult, I think.
Okay. So as all of you are on the bridge, there's a big tactical schematic replacing the blue screen. It possesses basic information about the crystalline entity that was encountered before. Anyone who would like to know more information about it, and this will add on to what you're all about to find out, please roll for me your insight plus science.
All right, so all of us roll 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
And do we have a
Fine.
difficulty?
The difficulty will be 1.
Okay. I get ties is a tie considered a success or a failure?
Yes.
Okay, then I get 2 successes.
Okay.
And for me?
I rolled a 1 and a 20.
Oh no!
Thank you.
So
That's
kind
a gift
of
Good job,
feast
Robbie.
and famine tonight.
That's the gift that keeps on giving. Thank you for that complication. All right, so here's the basics that you all know without having to make those rolls. So the crystalline entity is not well understood by the Federation. There's a lot of theories about it, but what they do know is that it devastates planets for food. They do not know how often it needs to feed, only that it attacks planets and it methodically strips them with what appears to be a tractor beam-like ray that emanates from its core. Those planets that have been attacked by the crystalline entity in the past have usually been completely destroyed. And not just like destroyed as in devastated, as in like all cellular activity down to the microscopic level is stopped. So these things are considered I said omega level, that's the wrong threat. They're a serious threat to the Federation. Those of you that got 1, you're able to know that the Federation has theories on how they might be able to communicate with these creatures, but the only entity that they were able to communicate with was destroyed shortly thereafter, and no one knows why. Only that either the attempt to communicate with it or some other force destroyed the entity. Those of you that have 2 successes know that it was the scientists in charge of the expedition, in charge of the experiment, who purposefully destroyed the creature after getting revenge for her lost son on Omicron Theta. And so as you are all make it to the bridge, I'm going to say that Anbara, you make it there last. That's when you see also on one of the displays what appears to be a Federation distress signal being looped on repeat.
Is the captain on deck?
The captain is. He looks like he's looking at the distress signal while also looking at the view screen, and he looks very concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Is it oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if it's just like is it a message or message distress signal, or is it just like beeping
SOS.
SOS beacon type thing?
Good question. Looking at the display, you can tell that it's an automatic distress signal. It looks to be one that's that automatically is released from escape pods, and this one has the call sign of the USS Bajora.
Captain, should we answer the call?
I would very much like to, but these creatures are incredibly destructive. But curiously, this creature, it's not behaving like they have in the past. Also, he reaches forward and taps part of the display. You see the display shifts, and it shows two crystalline entities right next to each other. The one from Omicron Theta, very large. But the one next to it, if I had to give you a comparison, planet Earth, Earth's moon, for size difference. By the way, that's how large they are. So, large entity, small one.
So we're looking at the small one right now.
Yes.
For lack of a better term, maybe a baby?
Offspring?
Yeah, like a child?
Sweet little babby.
A sweet little baby that can eat planet, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You and I have very differing opinions on what is considered sweet.
Is there enough information documented about how they communicated with the one before that we think we could do it again?
Unfortunately, no. The information was not kept on your ship's records, but it is kept back at the Federation main database. But your ship doesn't possess that information. The likelihood of you encountering a crystalline entity in the Gamma Quadrant was not considered when you guys were sent on your mission.
Sensible.
And this signal is coming from the planet?
It's coming from the planet. When you look at the display again, the one on the view screen, it's Mescalius 7. And it looks like it's coming from the southern hemisphere.
Okay. Do we know anything about this planet?
About that? This planet is still, you're still charting the solar system. From what you can tell, it is a cold planet. No indigenous life forms. The only thing that you know of is that in a neighboring system to this one, the Valarius system, there is a pre-warp civilization, roughly around 5 million sentient beings.
So is the crystalline entity currently attacking us, attacking the planet, or just kind of
Hanging out?
Weirdly, it's attacking the planet, but it looks like it's moving in, stripping part of the planet, and then pulling away. However, it's very methodical, and you can tell that within about 4 hours, it's going to go over the location where the distress signal is coming from.
Oh, okay. So that's our time limit. Let's go.
Yeah. Is there also, do we know specifically what they're attracted to create some sort of diversionary thing? Basically, huh?
I'm gonna say, you want to create a honeypot.
Yes. I'm specifically thinking about how, in the Expanse, they figured out that the things were attracted to radioactive energy and then stripped a warhead and threw it up, so then it chased after that.
The Expanse is the Expanse is a favorite show on the Cerynitis. How many
also
successes?
do that.
Huh?
Oh,
I had gotten 2.
Okay, I'd say for 2 successes, because you probably would have spent that extra one for more information.
Yeah.
You could tell that they're attracted to a lot of mineral deposits, especially rare earth mineral deposits.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, they can't just strip them from asteroids or free floating in space. They prefer to take them from planets with atmospheres. You read a record once where a scientist very glibly put down, maybe they like their food warm.
Dang. So recreating those conditions would be not feasible with our time limit. Okay.
I think we should at least go down there and see if there are any survivors that we can beam out before this thing strips the planet.
We could
Agreed.
probably start by scanning for life signs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So who would like to scan for life sign?
What is the role?
Had that just prepared.
We are now consulting to see which of the officers is best
sensor
suited.
sweep would be reason science.
Yeah, reason science. Thank you.
Not Rozrin, then.
No problem.
Not Rozrin.
I'm not terrible at it. I have an
13.
11.
It's probably Anbara, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
She's got this. Yeah.
Oh, aren't you? No, you're our engineering officer.
Yeah. I don't deal with the fleshy bits. I like technology.
Well, luckily this is a crystalline entity, so there's no flesh.
Okay. What is the difficulty?
To scan the planet right now, the difficulty is going to be 1.
Okay.
You're relatively close enough that your sensors can hit the planet, but you can't get super specifics depending on how well you roll.
Could the ship
Yes.
assist her?
The ship can. Is someone rolling for the ship?
I can do that. I have the numbers up here. Because the ship also has a 13. And that is a 12.
I have
Nice.
2 successes.
All right. that's a
So
lot
an
of
additional
success.
one.
All right. So with 3 successes, it's hard to scan through the atmosphere. The atmosphere currently is in turmoil. Part of the planet's already been stripped away. You're looking at, even if the entity were to cease its attack, the planet would likely be barren within a couple years. Although the likelihood of the entity stopping is very low. This planet is probably done for. But what you can tell is that there is debris in the atmosphere above the planet. Right now it's hard to tell what type of debris, but you are detecting several components within the debris that's similar to starship debris. I've said debris like 5 times. A lot of debris. But you are seeing that there's what could have been the remains of a starship in orbit. However, from this distance, you can't tell the particular make and model.
Yeah.
And it's scattered widely across the atmosphere.
Is there a way to since we can tell where the debris clusters are like largest and stuff, is there a way to narrow the focus to test for life signs? Or is it all just a moot point?
Judging from the way that the debris is scattered about, it looks like it's been there a while, and
Okay.
a lot of this is the remains that's been trapped just outside of the planet's orbit. A lot of it's probably decayed and fallen like planet side. You do not think there would be anyone left alive in the remains of this ship, or in the remains of the ship in orbit.
Okay. And then I guess my other question is, with the atmosphere as it is, does it seem like it would be possible for there to be survivors that could have used escape pods to the surface?
It looks likely. While the atmosphere here can support life, it does look like it can support very complex life.
Yeah.
And those that are living on the planet would probably need to wear rebreathers for long periods of time. But it can support carbon-based life forms.
Okay. But we did not necessarily confirm that there were life signs because of how volatile the planet is right now, correct?
No.
Okay.
There are lightning storms scouring the planet right now. Pretty much it looks like planet-side hurricanes are forming, and the northern section of the planet looks like it's slowly being stripped bare into nothingness. The atmosphere itself is starting to bleed into space.
Okay.
Commander Anbara, do you think we can either transport down there or take a runabout down there?
Runabout would likely be the better bet given all of this interference. I would be concerned with how much is messing with our sensor readings that we wouldn't be able to get clear locks if we use transporters directly. And the last thing we want to be is stranded.
Right. Yes, we should at least go down there and scan for life signs and see if we can find any survivors, because this signal came from one of the type of things that they have on escape pods, so it seems possibility is likely that they escape pod went down to the planet.
Yeah, it's going to be a very bumpy ride, however, given the and she just sort of gestures to the debris cloud.
Because of all of that.
Bumpy and yet as fast as we can safely do it, because there is not a lot of time.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Captain, permission to take a runabout to the surface?
The captain gives a little bit of thought to it, and you can see that he is seriously weighing the lives of his crew versus rescuing the people on the planet. I'm going to agree to this mission, but I cannot guarantee that we can keep the entity away from the planet long enough for you to complete it. I'm going to give you 2 hours to try to rescue as many people as possible from the planet. And we're going to do our best to try to distract the creature. However, even at that size, that creature is too formidable for us and could destroy our ship. And I do not want to tell you that this would be a one-way trip. However, I want you to know about the risks that you're taking on. I feel we should try to save the survivors of the crew of the Majora, but if I have to choose between rescuing the survivors and you, or the crew of our ship, I'm afraid I have to choose our ship. Do you agree with the mission?
Yes. I mean, I've made similar choices in the past.
I knew that you would agree, out of hand. But the rest of you?
We will endeavor to be excellent, and there won't be a choice that needs to be made.
And understood, sir.
Very well. With that, he already starts communicating down to the flight deck, and a runabout is being prepared for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Rozrin will equip himself, make sure we have rebreathers and phasers if necessary. I mean, they might be useful for shooting debris if needed, or, getting people out of stuff, and who knows? There might not be creatures there, but who knows? So better be safe than sorry.
If there's a medic willing to come with us after being debriefed on this might be a one-way trip, that would be awesome.
A medic is assigned to your team.
Okay.
We're just going to call him Blue Shirt for now while I think of a medic's name. Unless one of our viewers wants to think of a cool name for a medic. A human medic.
Be Arthur.
Be Arthur.
The Wabash is waiting for you on the flight deck. Who's flying?
Me.
All right.
Can we also get some, make sure we have a complement of some form of torpedo, just in case? I don't think it'll do...
The runabout possesses micro torpedoes, but you can also have, one torpedo warhead attached to it. There is an actual, torpedo attachment, but you wouldn't have the time to make sure it's attached safely.
I just want to, if nothing else, something to distract it.
So as you depart from the USS Cerynitis, you two fly up towards the planet almost in tandem. The USS Cerynitis looks like it's trying to play pretty much catch me if you can by flying close enough to the creature, and the creature starts to go after it. This creature, which looks like a piece of snow floating in space, does pursue, and the speed at which it does it is terrifying to behold. But that gives you the pretty much the opportunity to head planet side. So for our intrepid pilot, I need you to roll control plus con.
Difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be of 2.
I'm gonna spend a momentum.
I feel like Anbara's watching the ship. I'm just like, that is very unsettling. And if that thing harms any of my engines in any way,
I got the
I'll
2
be
I needed.
incredibly upset.
All right, you got the 2 you needed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this isn't the worst storm you've flown in. It's pretty bad still. The ship, which has all of the modern advancements that the Federation has to offer, can barely keep up with the turbulence, as you are all being just pretty much shaken about. Even with your shoulder straps.
Wait, yeah, we gotta... Wait, everybody!
It's always fun in the original series when this deck starts shaking and everyone jumps in a different way.
So, the things that you don't prepare for your Star Trek game. So, you managed to put the ship down pretty close to the landing zone. You're within about 2,000 yards, so pretty close. It looks like it's leading up into the side of a mountain, And from what you can tell, there appears to be like almost like a cleared path next to what it looks like a large Federation transmitter. The transmitter looks like it's been jury-rigged together from numerous pieces. What are you doing as soon as you get out of the runabout?
Can we try to...
Oh, and I forgot to tell you, it is storming really hard on the planet. Torrential rains, lots of lightning, and the Earth is shaking.
We do have a name for our doctor.
Oh?
He is Dr. Alan Gregory from chat.
Thank you,
Dr.
chat.
Alan
Dr. Gregory. Awesome.
Gotta type in, I'm gonna forget that name. So, Dr. Alan Gregory.
I was gonna suggest Gainsborough.
Me, Arthur.
He was the man who painted the Blue Boy.
Ah.
Thomas Gainsborough, I think.
Well,
it's been a long time since art class.
Yeah.
Dr. Gregory, he is hitting the ground with his kit on because he's expecting, like, he doesn't know if it's gonna be a mass casualty situation or what. But the moment the weather hits him, his face goes from like, concern to just like, oh, this is the worst weather possible. But he is ready to go. What are you all doing when you get out of the Wabash?
What's the likelihood of, like, if we send a signal, they'll hear it and be able to, like, start heading towards us, too?
You don't know until you do it.
Let's give that a try.
Do we have any flares?
I'm going to say that you have flares.
Yeah. We can go get, fire off a flare to see if...
Yeah, flare.
Danny, were you saying something?
Open hail.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, it would make sense if we're going on a rescue mission that we would have things like emergency flares and all that sort of stuff. It would make sense.
Especially if we knew that there were storm conditions with low visibility on the way down.
Right.
Anya is going to be refining those life science scans now that we're actually under the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sounds like a couple different roles. So we're going to start with the flares.
Right.
Is one of you trying to shoot it towards the mountain or just straight up in the sky?
I will try to... Chagrin, who has planet-side survival, knows where to shoot the flare. So I'm saying me as a player, I don't necessarily know where the best place would. But someone who specializes in survival might.
Since you're specialized, you know exactly where to shoot that flare. You compensate for the wind, you fire it, it illuminates the area around you. Nobody responds. You wait like several minutes in the flare, which slowly descends. I've decided it's like a movie flare, so it's going to stay long enough for there to be visibility. But nobody seems to be coming out to you. All right. Jen, you were trying to scan while eating.
What do you want me to roll? Insight in science again, or sorry, reason in science?
I'm going to say that for this one, it's going to be reason plus science.
Okay. And what is the difficulty?
The difficulty is going to be of 2.
Can I use a momentum?
I would say go ahead.
I am going to use a momentum.
I'm the GM. I'm going to say no.
How dare you? Ooh. I got 2 1s and a normal success. So that is 2, 4, 5 successes?
Oh, just barely enough. So with your 5 successes, you're not able to detect anything in the vicinity, except for some small, frightened squirrel-like creatures. But strangely, you're not able to detect the mountain. Your scans seem like they're not penetrating the mountain's crust at all.
Can I get a list of reasons why that would be?
Starting from the top and going down, it could be the weather, could be like a faulty scanner module, it could be the turbulent storm you're having, it could be something laced into the mountain, or it could be that there's something in the mountain repelling your scan.
Can I roll to disbelieve the mountain?
Wrong.
You can. Automatically fail.
Save versus illusion magic.
Now, real fast. I just want to quote the song. Captain Kirk is climbing a mountain, climbing a mountain. Why is he climbing a mountain?
Morning dance, also not expected.
So I guess we're getting out for spelunking and mountain climbing and going.
Yeah. Are there any other questions you guys want to ask, or should we just convert the rest to momentum?
How much momentum do we have currently?
I spent 1, and
I
then
spent 1.
I gained 3 by going 3 over, but 1 was asking another question, so there's 2 left that we can add.
Okay, yeah, we should probably go ahead and add those.
Okay.
Just want to make sure we don't go over Cap.
Yeah. Okay. Commander, it would appear that there is nothing really around here, and my sensors cannot penetrate whatever is happening in that mountain. If there are survivors, my guess is that they might have found shelter in some sort of cave system over there. But it's also possible that something terrible is also lurking in that mountain, because, you know, that tends to be our luck with these sorts of situations.
Alright, so, the phaser's out.
Time to go mountains exploring. I don't know if we're going to climb or spelunk, but one way or the other.
First one, then the other.
As you try to make your way up to the mountain, it seems like the ground starts shaking even more violently for at least 5 seconds before it subsides. You all know that this is likely because the planet's tectonic plates are slowly just collapsing. As you make it up to the inside of the cave, at first you're happy because you're no longer being hit by the freezing rain. And then up ahead, you see what appears to be some kind of door. It looks like it's been welded together with what looks to be Federation alloys. You do see a simple touchpad that looks like it would gain you entry.
But it's been welded shut.
No, the door's been welded together to make the door.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
Boop.
Yeah.
Who boops the door?
I think Amber booped the door, or Halada.
Halada.
Yeah.
Halada, when you open the door, the Federation happens and the door opens. There's darkness within. The light does not penetrate very far inside.
Using my enhanced senses, I'm going to switch my robotic eye to dark vision, infrared, magnetic, science, technobabble vision.
Okay.
I just assume that we have ancient technology like flashlights.
I was just gonna turn on lights. That might blind you now, so.
Oh, no, it was just sort of the door opens and it's dark and it sort of auto clicks.
Yeah. It's like a transitions lens.
Yep.
Nice.
I got the upgraded model.
Oh, man.
Okay.
So who has a flashlight?
Well, I did say I was grabbing spelunking gear. I would assume that includes flashlights.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
okay.
A flashlight is just a standard part of an engineering kit when half your job is crawling through Jeffrey's tubes and shit.
I figure I have the...
So you've got, there's 3 light beams going inside there. The first thing you notice about this room, unlike the cold atmosphere outside, it is uncomfortably hot for most. It looks like the temperature here, the ambient temperature is kept in pretty much like the high 80s. It's also really, really humid. So for most of you, pretty uncomfortable. Jen feels super nice. Just, it's really comfy.
Man.
You're loving it here.
Yeah.
This is an unpleasant time to have her.
Chagrin, who comes from an ice planet, is very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't think the Trill appreciate heat either, so...
Oh, this is great.
So great. You know,
Just wet cat.
So the light, you're not seeing anything inside of here. As you're surveying the area, you do see what appear to be lights overhead, but that there's nothing immediately inside of this room.
Is there switch to turn the lights on, or can I go like? Did they hijack a computer and I can just say computer lights?
You do see a console on the far end of the room.
Okay. Commander
Yep.
Anbara, console.
Aye, Commander.
Should we? Well, no, never mind. I say, should we check to see if there's any sort of booby trapping on it? But I don't think they would have bothered to.
Well, that's what Rozrin would be doing. Well, everyone else was kind of doing that stuff. Rozrin was like with the phaser, like looking around, making sure there's nothing hiding in the corners. You know, clearing corners, all that.
Husband, please make sure that the darkness doesn't come to attack me, because, like, that would be very irritating.
As he's just like booping at the computer to try to figure out what's going on. Like, first of all, does it have power?
Oh, it does have power, and the moment that you start pushing buttons on there to activate it, a very familiar script appears before your eyes in golden lettering. It's Cardassian language. And it's at that point that the lights all turn on, and you're surrounded by 3 soldiers who seem to appear out of the shadows. They are dressed in Cardassian military uniforms.
Oh, come on!
Anbara has her most pleasant customer service face on right now.
Drop your weapons, now.
I look over at the commander.
Yep.
Are they holding weapons?
They are holding Cardassian phasers.
There's 3 of them, right?
Yep. 2 phasers, 1 phaser rifle.
We're on a rescue mission. Will you also lay yours down as a sign of good faith?
Go ahead and make reason plus command. Difficulty is going to be 1.
Can I intimidate from behind her to add a die as an assist?
Well,
Yes.
I have
Yeah.
disarming nature as well.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah, I'm looking
Well-
up exactly what that does because I don't remember.
Well, she's a kitty, so of course everybody.
Yeah.
I like how Anbara's just surrendered.
Like, the way I see it, she was at the computer and then built a gun at her back and then was like this. What else do you do?
Yeah.
I was a second away if Halada hadn't spoken up from shooting.
Well,
Yeah.
that's it's a good I'm here then.
Like when you feel the gun on your back and you see, like, you know, again, the equivalent of the boogeyman to your people, it's like, okay, I'm going to move very slowly and just be here.
Have you gotten that talent up?
I am almost there.
While you're waiting, if anybody else would like to make a insight plus security roll to notice more things about the scene.
That would be Rozrin's Bollywood. He would do pretty well with that, so I will definitely take that opportunity.
Also like to do that, and I would like to know if I can get my cultural studies back. Because specifically she's looking at them Cardassians as like, is this a trap? I'm familiar with Cardassian traps.
That was reason and security?
Yes.
Sorry, I have switched computers, so my list of
So that's a 20.
Don't worry about it.
I got a success.
So 1 success, 1 failure.
Or a complication.
Well, I mean, yeah. You know.
I got 2 successes.
Okay. For the people who are just noticing things about the scene, you notice that they're wearing what be very worn Cardassian uniforms. Like, they've been patched up over the years. They're not like threadbare, or it's not like they've got like Federation here, Klingon there, but they do look like they've been in them for a long time. The person who got 2 successes, you notice that one of the Cardassians, even in kind of like the dimish light that's now illuminating this area, their features seem a lot more subdued compared to the other Cardassian. In fact, they look very similar to Anbara's features.
So Rozrin would be like, because Halata said to put down the phasers, but he's doing it very, very slowly. Just
Well-
in, like he's like, because he wants to hold on to it as long as possible, just in case they don't appreciate what Halata is saying. And
Are you sure that talent was disarming nature?
Yes. It's a Cation talent. And I am having a hard time finding it. It just says, like, the description I found says it makes it easier to do social tasks when it's a new one. Like, when they don't know me. But doesn't give...
Okay.
Probably reduces the difficulty by 1.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
So
go ahead. Go ahead and make your roll.
alright. Here. And you said that was...
That would be reason plus command.
Reason plus command. Okay. I got 2 successes.
Okay.
I
So-
also got a success on that for the aid.
So, the soldiers look like they were just ready for a fight, but the combination of the fact that the ground shakes again, and the fact that you're being pretty reasonable with this scary-looking, it's an Andorian, right? Scary-looking Andorian behind you.
Yeah.
One of them just kind of looks over at his friends, and he's like, I told you this wouldn't work. Why are we doing this? Just have them get us off the planet. And the one that looks relatively similar to Anbara goes, no, we're going to use their ship, and we're going to take it back as a prize. No way are we going to just let them take us prisoner. And they immediately start squabbling amongst themselves, where they just start arguing back and forth.
I didn't say anything about prisoners. I literally said rescue mission, but you are not taking our ship.
I'm gonna fire a phaser blast at them-ish, but sort of a warning shot to get them to stop.
They all immediately stop, and they want to fire at you because they weren't sure if you were going to shoot at anybody, but they look really tense. The one that was like being reasonable goes, "Why'd you do that?"
This planet is falling apart at the seams. We risked life, limb to come here and rescue apparently you. So you will either place your weapons on the ground, come with us as free citizens, and let us save you, or we will walk out this door and leave you.
But he said,
the one that was being reasonable looks at the others and goes, they've got a point. And look, at this point, I'm ready to shoot you guys myself. Can we just go with the Federation? Get off this planet? They lower their weapons, but they've still got them in their hand. But it doesn't look like they're going to aim them, fire them right away. The one that was being reasonable kind of holsters his phaser. And Jen, you recognize this because with your familiarity with Cardassian. He has the rank of Glenn, and he just immediately salutes and introduces himself to you. I am Glenn Davris, and I am of the Second Order. Welcome to our base.
Commander Halata, First Officer of the USS Cerynitis. And I'll introduce the rest of the crew. I'm bad at names.
Commander Chagrin, Chief Strategic Officer or Strategic Operations Officer of the Delta Quadrant.
Commander Anbara Anya, Chief of Engineering.
Lieutenant Irax, Chief of Security. Is this how many of you there are?
They look amongst each other and look back. There's more. There's about 30 of us.
Okay, so the person who doesn't know Star Trek, will those all fit on the runabout?
They should, I believe.
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely. Okay.
Kind of be bust the nuts from there, but...
We are on a time limit. There is a creature destroying this planet. Gather everybody. Let's go.
Are you all the survivors of the, what was it called?
The Bajora.
Bajora?
They They look really sheepish, and Glenn Davris, just kind of after he holsters his phaser, it might be better if we explain things if we come deeper into the base. We can also gather the rest of our team.
All right, just as an update, we are currently with chat at 10 threat and 4 momentum.
That's great. Chat is awesome. I love the chat. Anyways, thank you, chat. Now, as you go deeper into the base, it starts to take on a much more Cardassian feel. They open pretty much a hatch at the back end of the room that you didn't see before, and they lead you deeper into the mountain. It looks like the walls inside this mountain were carved relatively recently. If you run your fingertips along the walls, you get a lot of dirt, like a lot of grime. You go down steps until you come into like a large area, which would be a main research lab. There are numerous screens lining the walls. Not all of them are operational. Some appear cracked, and some appear to have just error messages on them. In the center of the room is a large screen with what appears to be the entity and the Cerynitis on it, as well as what looks to be a countdown. The countdown appears to be how long until the planet's biosphere is destroyed. In the middle of the room looks to be a very exhausted-looking Cardassian giving 5 orders at once. Numerous technicians are running up to him, handing him schematics on a data pad, and he just shakes his hand and sends them on their way. He barely notices you until you're right up on him. And when he turns around, very surprised, and almost like his hand reflexively seems like it wants to reach for a phaser, but then he just kind of moves it aside. I take it you're not our prisoners.
No, because this is a rescue mission.
Well, on behalf of the Cardassian Union and the Second Order, thank you for coming to our aid.
Can you explain to me why your distress beacon is from the USS Bajora?
Would you believe we found it?
I'm going to roll sense motive check on this.
That seems perfectly reasonable. What would you like to roll? Would you like to roll
insight command, maybe, or insight security?
I'd say either command or security.
They're the same for me, so it doesn't matter too much.
Okay.
Also roll the same, because, like, sus.
What? No, these are perfectly reasonable Cardassians representing a former military power.
And also, are you fine with me using cultural studies for the spec?
Yes.
Cool.
I got 3 successes, one and a natural 1.
2 successes.
Okay, that's a lot of successes, so we're going up in momentum. Yeah, not only can you tell that he's lying, but something you can tell from the tone of his voice, he sounds desperate. Very desperate. Which would give you an edge in further negotiation attempts with him in the future. There's only so much information you could get from the scene, but because you guys did so well, you're kind of planting the seeds for later discussions.
Yeah. I also have an ability called cold reading that allows me to get a little more information out of this situation.
I thought that was something you did on a nice summer's day in Andoria. Did a little bit of cold reading.
That too. That's where I learned it. I read a nice book on social interactions. Because reading a book is the best way to socialize yourself, as I learned in high school.
Okay.
You said that their uniforms were older?
Yep, they were standard Cardassian military fashion at the end of the Dominion War.
Alright. Okay.
So, based on their reactions, I'm going to be like, no, I would not believe you found it. This planet's going to get destroyed, so whatever your answer is, we're still going to rescue you, but I would like the truth.
He kind of looks like he's like pondering his options real quick. We recovered it from the wreckage of the USS Bajora. The USS Bajora was taken by the Dominion, and they turned over all remains of the USS Bajora to us, including its complement of crew that survived.
Are any of them still alive?
Yes.
Are they here or somewhere else?
We do have 3 Federation officers and 1 Bajoran officer in our custody.
would I know that with the treaty, weren't they supposed to give up their prisoners of war?
Ostensibly, yes.
And why haven't you released your prisoners yet?
Because the Cardassian Union has not surrendered.
Even though... Wait, the Cardassian Union is the splinter group from the Dominion, correct?
That was the name of the original Cardassian government. But you also know that from those of you that have been watching our other episodes, for our lovely viewers at home, there's one other group right now that is currently using that title as part of what their belief system is.
The
True Way.
True Way, yes. What about the Cardassian-Bajoran treaty?
We are holding the members of a military expedition into the Gamma Quadrant as prisoners. They have been our prisoners. Sorry, what was that?
It was a research expedition.
It was an armed Federation vessel, which our allies at the time deemed to be a hostile threat to their border. And we are not responsible for the destruction of that vessel. We have only inherited the crew and remains of the vessel.
Well, they are coming with us too. Can you please gather your people? Let's go.
He turns around, he starts giving orders, which sounds like there's ordering them to pack up. You see several very relieved-looking Cardassian technicians kind of give a sigh of relief as they start to pack up their stations. Jen, the Cardassian that looks a lot like you, is giving you the once-over with his eyes, but kind of in like a very contemptuous way.
Okay. I feel like she's kind of doing the same thing. But like in a more professional way, you know? Because it's like the commander's right there.
You are with the Federation.
I am.
Are you with the Federation because of your Bajoran side or your true Cardassian side?
Both of sides of my parentage make up who I am, and I have chosen to be with the Federation of my own volition.
I knew you were going to say that. The Cardassian side of you will always be the superior side. Just so you know.
Is that how you really feel?
It's what I know. And with that, he turns and he starts to walk away.
Says the man hiding in a cave.
Just ignores you and goes towards manning a console.
Oh, it wasn't for him.
He can't be faulted
Rozrin,
for his ignorance.
Yes, Commander.
will you please set up some place for them to, offload their weapons before they get on our runabout so that we don't have 30 armed people?
Yes, Commander.
Also, I'm going to suggest that we ourselves take the Federation and Bajoran, the two Federation officers and the Bajoran officer, and maybe send the doctor back to the runabout with them so that they can get proper... I've been on the receiving end of Cardassian prisoner treatment.
The one who was speaking to you immediately spins on his heel and looks very shocked. I'll have you know they've been treated with every comfort in mind.
I'm sure their stone pallet had a very soft sheet upon it.
They were given beds, and they were given quality food. I assure you, I'm not a monster.
And I'm assuming they're the ones who dug out this cave system.
No. The Cardassian Corps of Engineers. That is why it is so resilient and has served us well. Of course, as he says that, tiny earthquake, dirt falls. It's serving us incredibly well, given the circumstances.
So am I to understand the True Way doesn't believe in prison planets anymore?
I'm telling you that I don't. And as I said, I merely inherited a problem. But I've done my best to make sure they've been given every consideration.
Nonetheless, I would like to send them on ahead.
He then orders the Bajoran Cardassian to go and take you to see the prisoners.
All right.
Who is going to see the prisoners, and who is sticking around in this room?
Rozrin's gonna stick around here and do what the commander told him to do, which was create a place so they could put their weapons.
Okay.
I'll probably escort Dr. Gregory to the prisoners.
Okay.
I feel like Anbara would like to go to the prisoners just so she doesn't have to stay in the room with all the Cardassians.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay here and back Anbara. Not Anbara. Rozrin. I'm gonna back Rozrin up.
Chevrin sees Anbara's kind of shifty eyes, just sort of puts a hand on the shoulder and leads them with him.
Just that perfect customer service smile. Ha.
I'll lean kind of close. Next time I won't miss.
Just like Chevrin at a Best Buy on Black Friday, he's one cool customer.
I try.
Okay, so for those of you going to see the prisoners, you go down several steps deeper into the facility. Looks like this facility's been kept reasonably well. It's Cardassian military equipment that's been patched with what looks to be some Federation, some salvaged Dominion tech, several other species that you've encountered that aren't like as powerful as the Federation or the Dominion, but their tech was used when needed. And you're led into what appears to be a corridor where there are two guards who seem very surprised to see Federation, and at first act like they're supposed to put the Federation in the cells.
Do we see any pack lid technology?
No, you don't. Not the pack lids were about jamming pieces of equipment together.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was being sassy.
Oh, okay. When they're ordered by, yes, you find his name is Glenn Zaris Woe, to put down their rifles and open up the door, they seem to be really weirded out, but they comply. The first thing you notice when the door opens is the sudden temperature shift. The temperature inside these rooms is probably at a 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Not as humid, very nice, and you hear some soft music playing.
Anya looks very perplexed at Chevrin, just like.
Mm-hmm. Chevrin has sort of the very calm, unflappable demeanor, but kind of raises an eyebrow and looks inside the door.
It looks to be kind of like a large, not like. It looks like to be a pair of suites inside. Music is playing. There looks to be a small holographic fire in the corner in a fireplace. There's music playing, and you can smell what looks to be just like freshly replicated food. It doesn't look like anything too luxurious. It looks like food that just came out of a Federation replicator. It looks like the remains of chicken Alfredo. And sitting at a table where they're playing a game of chess are two Federation officers who don't even look up. Their uniforms looks like they've been mended well, but they're still a little faded, and they don't have their comm badges or their rank pips.
Chevrin will sort of clear his throat.
Oh, is it feeding time already? Just want you to know, this food was awful, and you should feel bad because you're one ugly. Your Federation. Kind of
The last time I checked.
Nudges the other person. Is a human woman who's looking intently at the chessboard, and the two of them kind of jump to their feet and try to remember how to salute.
At ease. I am Commander Chevrin. This is Commander Anbara of the Cerynitis. We are here to escort you back.
They look really shifty-eyed at each other. The woman steps forward, salutes again. I am Lieutenant Hastings, and I hope you pardon my language. If this is another trap, we're not going to fall for it. You've done this trap so many times.
Not. Where is the third of your number? We were told there was also Bajoran.
They look around. Just like one of them goes, "The Bajoran is praying right now, and there's another Federation officer, but he's with His Excellency, and he can't be disturbed."
Well, the planet is falling apart,
Yeah.
so I believe we should disturb him.
Wait, so the earthquakes, the shaking, that's an actual earthquake?
Yes.
Yes.
Planet's being destroyed?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we should go. And she starts moving around, and it's like, Bill, move it. And Bill is just standing there, literally crying. He can't.
Yeah, officer, that is an order. I will try to use command tactics on him to startle him out of shock or weeping.
All right. You will probably have to use presence, and then presence plus command if you're trying to order him out of it.
Sure thing. Could I add Federation protocol to that?
Yes, you can.
Excellent. That is 2 successes.
Okay. He shakes and kind of shakes out of it, and he just walks up and then kind of pokes you, and then gives you a really big hug.
Yeah.
Like just a super deep hug, and then backs up. William Tahachi, formerly of the USS Bajora. I'm ready to go. I mean, I don't need anything here. I've got nothing. We can go.
You'll be safe. Don't worry. We've got you. You're free.
Were they telling the truth? Are you the only survivors of the ship?
They both look really sad. And then Lieutenant Hastings she comes up with what's literally like a pillowcase full of random. We are all that remains of the original complement of Bajora. There were originally 14 of us who were in prison.
What happened to the others?
Illness, injuries. The original overseers were Dominion, so the Cmdr were very brutal. They would make us fight for their amusement. They would tell us we weren't as good as the Klingon prisoners they had in another base, and they slowly whittled us down. And then one day, the Cmdr contingent died, and the Cardassians stopped making us fight each other. But we've been here an awfully long time.
Well, once the other 2 are ready, we will take you directly to the runabout.
Well, you can try to go and get the Prophet. I mean, he'll probably come with you, but I don't think you're going to want to rescue the other human.
What's going on?
He's working with the Cardassian.
Well, we're taking the Cardassians as well.
They're still alive? I thought
Yeah.
you came here with the ship and killed them all, and you're not going to kill them all?
No.
They're kind of bad people.
They aren't that, but the Federation does believe in the sanctity of all life.
Yeah, well, they don't. And
I understand that.
She shuts down and kind of just holds her bag and kind of walks past you. Tamahachi just kind of walks up and puts a hand on your shoulder. She was very close to some of the crewmen who died, and we've been here an awfully long time. And he looks over at Anbara. For what it's worth, I'm glad to see you. I don't think that she will be. It's very complicated. But I can take you. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask him what his rank was.
He's just an ensign.
Okay.
We can take you to go and get the Prophet. I mean, Zaris.
Yeah. I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, he's you should see it for yourself. He leads you towards the back where the music was playing, and the music starts to get louder. Anbara, you recognize it as Bajoran hymn music, essentially. Something that would be played in the temples. It's very, very loud. And as you walk into one of the rooms in this massive double suite, you see a very simple, very Spartan-esque room with a bed that looks like it's been stripped down to pretty much nothing, intentionally. And you see what appears to be a large piece of stone that's been painstakingly carved to look like one of the orb casings. It's not an orb casing, but it's been carved to look like one.
Yeah.
And seated before it is a Bajoran who is in the middle of prayer.
What is the protocol for, like, is there a polite way to interrupt someone's prayer in society?
You know, it's generally considered very rude for Bajorans to interrupt another Bajoran's prayers.
Yeah.
But you were taught that the prophets do make allowances for urgency. And Rob?
Oh, I just wanted to state out loud that I have my hand on my phaser ready to stun in case things get hairy.
So yeah, I guess Anbara would, carefully and quietly, just respectfully approach and just be like, Sir, I would not interrupt this sacred time for you under normal circumstances, but this planet is slowly being destroyed, and we have been sent as part of a rescue mission. We need to leave right now.
He slowly turns and looks at you, stopping his prayers, and he gives you a smile. His eyes look like they're graying slightly, so you do not know if he has advanced cataracts. And he looks healthy, if a little emaciated. And as he smiles, he just kind of holds his hands together and says, I know. I summoned the angel here. I summoned the angel here to destroy them all. And back in the main room. So as you two are in the main room, it looks like the Cardassians are true to their words. They're slowly packing up their devices. And you notice that after they shut down a computer console, they take a phaser to it, where just after they download all the information on it, they blast it. Are you doing anything to stop this, or are you just letting them destroy their equipment?
I mean, I don't think we have room for it, and it's gonna get destroyed by the crystalline thing anyway, so
if they want to waste the phaser, go for it.
Then they just keep doing it. Do you interact with any of the command staff at all?
I am going to make sure that they are very aware I'm not letting them on my ship armed.
In that case, you notice that the one you spoke with in the main room was Glenn Davris. You've already met Glenn Woe, who's the Bajoran Cardassian. And the Cardassian who seems like he's acting commander is a Glenn Grek. You do know something that seems odd as you're counting ranks in the room. You're noticing a lot of Glens, who are essentially major/colonels using Earth structures, but you're not seeing any gulls.
I'll ask about that once I've cleared the "you are not bringing weapons" on my ship.
Several of them give you the "yeah, right," although others are like, I don't need this phaser. Toss it. Glenn Davris looks at you like, sorry, you're inquiring about where the commander is?
Yes.
We've not seen the commander for a couple hours now. I believe that he was in, and then one of the Cardassians shoots him a really dirty look, but then goes back to working the console. And you see Glenn Davris kind of shrink back a little bit. He was in the main research lab.
What are you researching here?
And then all of a sudden, you're watching about 16 people immediately just shut up, where they're kind of like you hear a pin drop in the room all of a sudden.
Awesome.
Rozrin gives Halana a look like,
Oh boy. Let's see. Sorry,
They're
I
all
am stumped on what to do here as a player.
well, we could, I mean, Rozrin would be inclined to press the issue. If the commander's, he says that, and Rozrin will step forward and be like, the commander asked you a question.
I also want to reiterate that whatever happens after you're on the Cerynitis and I make my report, I am still rescuing all of you, because I'm not going to leave you here to die.
Then that Glenn Davris, looking at several technicians who give him a very sympathetic look, turns back to you. The main research lab contains a Federation computer core we salvaged from one of your flagships. It's one of the first vessels, a Galaxy-class vessel, which was destroyed in the Gamma Quadrant when the Dominion declared. We've had it inside of our lab for years, and we've used it to decipher a great many Federation secrets. Meanwhile, by the way, the other Golgrek is just staring him down. It's like, what are you doing? Stop that. Don't tell him anything. You don't need to know more.
Rozrin will give that guy a look like, leave him be. We can give looks. We can shoot daggers across this room. I don't care. Everything's shaken, sure.
Well, that damage is already done. But we need to go. So will someone please go get him?
Glenn Davris kind of looking again at the other one is like, I'll take you to go get him.
All right.
Yeah.
The Cardassians in the room, they're just staring at each other. It's a very tense thing, a very tense situation going on. If everybody could roll, control plus security, or no, not control. Reason plus security.
I'm assuming you mean Danny or
Yeah,
Rozrin and Halana.
Will this have anything to do with maybe strategy at all? I don't know exactly what, but might as well throw it out there.
I think it would.
Composure, diplomacy, galactic politics.
I'm gonna say diplomacy.
All right.
Oh, good! Oh, good. Okay, so 3. That's a little bit
good.
better. My dice were not liking me. I don't understand that, but they did well this time. I rolled a 1 and a 12, so that's 3 because I was using strategy. So
you're able to tell that right now, not quite a revolt's being planned, but you instinctively can tell how there's 2 factions forming. There's the faction of get out of Dodge, who doesn't want to die, and there's the faction of no, we should probably all die. And you're seeing several technicians bumping into each other, like intentionally, a lot of whispering. You can tell right now that it is a very tense situation and that it could go either way right now, where they're glad that you're trying to rescue them, but they're also, you're able to tell that some of these people are just ardent believers in a true way.
I mean, if they choose to die, I'm not gonna stop them, but I'm gonna rescue everybody who wants to leave.
yeah, it's just gonna be a matter of if the believers are gonna try to stop us from leaving as well.
Yeah,
that's Rozrin's concern.
Yeah,
is that these true believers are gonna be like, no, nobody leaves here.
Keep an eye on that. Try to disarm them first.
Yes. Rozrin's on it. he didn't notice the Cardassians in the first room, but I got it. He's not gonna get jumped again. Rozrin's really gonna get better at recognizing people. He didn't recognize people last time either. That was a very sad entry in his log. That was very sad.
You mean we walked out of the room going, man, that guy that
Yeah,
smelled like
you know,
onions.
it was
Wouldn't
like
tell me a thing about that guy that smelled like onions.
it was like security log. So I messed up today. You know.
So, good to know. So you're keeping a wary eye.
Yes. Rozrin is going to stick next to the commander so that he can protect her, if necessary. But he's going to be like watching the people who don't seem to be like packing up as fast or whatever, like the other faction, you know. And then he's actually going to say to the commander, like, should I perhaps go start collecting weapons now?
Yes.
Yeah. So Rozrin's going to start doing that. He's going to start, you know, he's going to grab something. I don't know what, but like a container, you know, and he's just going to be like, okay, all right. You know, he's just going to be like, weapons, this is it. Like, we're not going to play anymore. You know, like, if you're coming with us, dump them in here. You know, like collecting cell phones at the beginning of class.
Surprisingly, some of these Cardassians are very sarcastic, and at first you only get a couple of pens and a piece of paper and random pieces of junk, but eventually, as they start to pack up their stations, a couple put their phasers into the box. They make sure that they, you know, remove the power cells. You see a bunch of knives are put in there. You're able to tell from the state of the weaponry that's put in there that a lot of this was used in the war. It's mostly scuffed weaponry. A lot of it's been repaired. It looks like several of these rifles probably were carried through trenches. Which, again, you already knew that these people had been here for a while, but you're able to tell that also some of these weapons look brand new. Very new. Like, replicated within the last couple months new. You're not certain what you can make of that. You're not sure yet, because it could be they just replicated it here out of their own replicators. But it looks like there's some new armaments here that conform to Cardassian military standard.
Yeah. And Rozrin wants to make sure nobody's holding out on him, too. So he's definitely going to be looking at any suspicious lumps in clothing or, you know, anything like that to see if someone's holding out on him, you know, like...
Can Triad Quarters do it?
Yeah, you know, like, come on, you know? Like, you know, like getting on an airplane or something, so... you know, I can make a roll for that if you think there might be something, or just let you know that that's what he's trying to do.
We'll move on. Well, we'll say that's what you're doing. It's difficult, where it's taking up most of your time, but being that you're the one with the gun, and most importantly, the ship, they are complying.
Good.
But with Halada, you're going back into the research lab. You go through a small tunnel, which looks like it has several doors that Davros is able to open. He starts chattering as soon as you walk back. We've been here without any communications with our superiors for several weeks now, and we've been operating on our own much longer. Many of the people here, we've only joined the True Way because it's all we knew. You have to give us some consideration. A lot of us had no way home. Our superiors weren't going to let us go home, and there were no ships that stopped by this planet. So this was all we had. And since we were here, we went to work, deciphering the computer core, experimenting with gravimetric tractor beams, and then also with the communication sensor that they modified. And we've been trying something new, which I'm going to try to let the commander explain to you. And he comes to the last door, which goes to a large plastic-looking room that you can see into. And the moment he tries to enter in his command code, he gets an error message. That's weird. We rotate them routinely, but it should work. But each time he puts it in, he gets the same error message. Commander...
Can we knock? Do you have comms?
He taps a little button that's on his little control collar thing. This is Glenn DeVris to... the name that went off. There you go. To Golvrar. Golvrar. You hear this very deep voice come over his communicator. I know you're out there, and I know they're here. I take it your plan. Diverse just looks at you and is like, it did not. It was not a very good plan. They saw through it. I have the Federation commander here. Silent.
Gull, are you coming with us off this planet, or are you dying here?
I always said I would choose a time and place. But, it's any consolation, I can also choose a time and place of your end.
Okay, phaser's out and moving away from the door.
Don't worry, you're going to be just fine. Your crewmates on the Cerynitis, beautiful name. I'm afraid that they are going to be in a little bit more trouble. Will not be joining us later on today. And that little view screen pops up that shows pretty much what looks to be the planet and the crystalline entity overhead. We've been doing a lot of research here, thanks to the wise Federation envoy over here, who's given me so much help in deciphering the logs of your Enterprise. Silliness. Never understood why your flagship was called Enterprise. But he's been helping us with deciphering how your logs work, your experiment, and also giving me just a lot of information into these entities. They're really quite beautiful, very beautiful. The Bajoran, who is back inside the barracks, believes them to be avatars of wrath sent by their prophets to punish us. But I see them as an opportunity. And they are very complex creatures, but surprisingly primitive. Did you know that you can teach them a few tricks? Come, stay, heal, fetch. And they're attracted to the same minerals that make up the warp cores of Federation vessels. Why they like to attack them. And about 15 minutes ago, I started broadcasting a signal to the creature overhead, telling it to go and fetch the Cerynitis. The thing about these creatures is that they're not very, how would I put it, dexterous. They're kind of clumsy. Very clumsy. I'm afraid when it goes to fetch your vessel, it's going to tear it apart. So please, order the rest of the station to pack up and go. We are likely dead soon anyway. But it brings me so much pleasure knowing that you will die with us.
We're not at war. Why do this?
Oh, we are at war. We have been at war, and we are still at war. And while we may not win the war, I'm going to win this battle. This is a good time for us to take a quick break. You all just realized that the stakes are getting a lot higher.
Oh boy.
All right. So thank you all for showing up so far. I hope the audience at home, you've enjoyed the game. Remember that you can spend your points in the channel to name NPCs and also do other things like to give people, to give us more momentum, to give me more threat. You can always use more threat. You maxed out on it, but I like threat. Threat's good. But we're going to be right back. And remember to follow and subscribe. Remember, you get a free subscription through your Amazon Prime account to Twitch. And we would just love it if you gave us so much support. Anyways, we will see you all soon.
there was really not. I mean, unless it's like a medic or something.
Hello, welcome back. So, if you're just now joining us, the crew of the Cerynitis have come to a planet where they thought they were rescuing the crew of the USS Bajora, but were almost caught in a trap by those members of the True Way, the Cardassian Splinter Group, who have been making kind of a lot of trouble throughout the Gamma Quadrant and for our heroes all throughout this season. But while they're on the planet's also being attacked by a creature known as the crystalline entity, or at least a smaller version of it. All of the players did an excellent job of trying to negotiate the situation, but where we left off on the break, they learned that the commander of the base has taken control of the broadcast equipment that they've been using to try to summon the creature, and have told the creature to go and destroy their ship. So, we'll leave off where we started for Commander Halada. What are you doing with that bombshell?
Is this door, like, in a cave wall?
No, it's freestanding, but it looks to be very sturdy.
As if things weren't bad enough. Right? You know?
Why
are they gonna be like that? Why are they gonna be like that?
Real quick, I forgot to mention this before we got back into playing. We've got some upcoming shows with Rook and Rasp. Coming up on Tuesday the 8th, we've got 7th Sea by Leaps and Bounties at 8 o'clock. On Saturday the 12th, we've got Seriously Let's Play with Mech Warrior at 2 o'clock. I'm excited, huge Mech Warrior fan. Sounds like it's going to be really great. On Sunday the 13th, we've got the Illuminated Page at 5 o'clock. And next Monday, we've got The Voyages of Episode 18, Creeping Thoughts, run by Robin Jacoba.
Woo! And just so everyone knows, all the NPCs in Leaps and Bounties are hot. Just so everyone knows. They're hot.
Given.
Attractive or like on fire?
Yeah. No, attractive.
The Fuego Mage can be both.
Yes.
I like my NPCs to be a little flaming.
And on that note, so Commander Halada.
I'm gonna calm the rest of the crew that's here with me and, like, update them as quickly as possible as to what's going on. And then I guess I'm gonna try to burn a door down.
Rozrin
or maybe a wall?
definitely, with all speed, make his way to Commander Halada.
Maybe bring one of those rifles you collected.
Yes. I'll actually just bring the container that he's carrying. just, you know.
Because I kind of need to get to the equipment to fix this, right?
Yeah.
For Jen and Rob, you also hear this over your comm badge.
Okay. So what move should we contact the Cerynitis?
Give it a shot. I don't know if it'll get through the atmosphere, but definitely try.
You would know right away, though, that the Cerynitis is too far away for your comm badge to reach them.
Yeah, but we were sending somebody back to the runabout anyway, so try from there.
So, I'll go ahead and send the doctor with the 2 Human Federation officers that we know where they are.
Mm-hmm.
With a message, hey, this is a thing that's happening.
They scoot on out. Jen, what are you doing with the Bajoran?
She's just like, what do you mean? You called the creature?
Yes. The prophets heard me, and they sent their wrath. Soon, those that have desecrated Bajor, they will die. And don't worry, in the creature's benevolence, your side will be saved.
I feel like Anbara looks over at Chagrin, just like, I don't know what this.
Well, you have summoned the beast from the prophets, so you have done your due diligence. So shall we be away?
Matters not if I die here or die elsewhere. And he just stands up very calmly and starts following you around.
I'm glad that worked. I did not want to stun him. I'm a little trigger happy this episode, apparently.
Yeah.
You just
Know
have
how
a
to deal with
Bajoran
that
over
one.
your shoulder the whole time.
So I take it everybody's going to try to reconvene in the research lab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
Anbara looks pretty shook.
by the time that Shirin and Anbara get to the research lab,
On the way back, if Anbara looks really shook, Shirin sort of looks around, reaches into his jacket, and hands her a flask.
She would look at him gratefully, but decline because it's just like, we're still surrounded by a shitload of Cardassians. Okay, so you make it into the research lab. While you're in there, Rozrin and Halada, you've been firing phasers at the door, I assume?
Yes, and I also had a thought. Bonus points and merits in my report to anybody who helps. So more people firing.
Oh, getting all the Cardassians to help too. Nice. Like, and so was extremely helpful, as was so-and-so.
Uh-huh.
Are you going to ask Dalvris?
Is he the one who was super, like, forthcoming and helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, because we did hear that, the Cardassians are controlling the creature right now, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for the possibility that it works, she would look at, the Bajoran and just be like, so the creature is currently chasing our starship, and it seems like the Cardassians believe that they have some sort of control over it. If you have any way to commune with the creature, or honestly, even if you can just pray for all of us, that would likely go a long way in seeing to it that we can save some lives.
But why would I do that? We are all going to be taken up in the Prophet's embrace. Well, you and I will. I'm sure the rest will go to wherever their deities would take.
I see. Okay.
Are you going to try to manipulate him at all, or are you just trying to convince him through religion?
I was trying to convince him, through religion, at least the good side of the faith of compassion and generosity and all of that.
Okay, so that's going to be either your presence or your insight,
Okay.
plus it's going to be your command, and it's going to be of a difficulty of 4 because he's not playing with a full deck.
Okay. Can I spend 2 momentum, team, so I can get 4 dice?
That'd be 3
Please.
momentum,
It'd
but
be 3.
yes.
Okay. Alright, I will spend 3 momentum. Let's try it. And then cultural studies will work for foci?
Sure.
Cool. Alright. Ooh, yay! Okay, so I have... let's see. And you said command, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then in that case, I have 2 critical successes and 2 regular successes. So 6 successes total.
Okay. He doesn't quite soften, but you do see his eyes he's been pretty steadily fervent.
Yeah.
But you do see as you try to beseech him,
She's quoting the scriptures and
he blinks slightly and you see his hand wiggle. And you see that he does start to crack. And you're getting the feeling as you're talking to him that his religion feels like a shell around something else. It's not that he's being duplicitous, or at the very least, he's not being overtly duplicitous. It seems like he's not telling you something, and he is instead focusing on something else.
What happened to you?
He then puts his hands kind of underneath his arms, and he walks away from you, the smile gone from his face.
Commander, there's something he's not telling me, and I don't know if it's because of my heritage, or just because he's that deeply traumatized, but it's likely that it will be something important given the situation, the circumstances.
Keep trying and bring him here with you.
What is the door made out of?
The door looks like it is made of a dense cobaltium alloy.
Okay.
Only the thing about this alloy that you've seen it before, Cardassians love to build their pretty much their heavy weapon sights out of it. Incredibly dense. They viewed it as indestructible. It's not. You know that for a fact. But it is pretty heavily reinforced. And something about its lattice makes it so that it would take hours to cut through it with phasers.
Is it connected to any of the systems?
There is a console attached to it. That's the one that DeVris has been trying to access, and he is fervently trying to access it now. You've been hearing the denied tone for at least the last 3 minutes.
Maybe
I don't
Anbara
think
can
we're-
hack it.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing any good, Commander, with these
Yeah.
phasers.
So I'm on it. I'm serious. Does the wall look like it would be easier to cut through? Because I will absolutely try to cut through the wall.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Chagrin is going to go to the console after the commander tries to cut through the wall.
You're able to cut through the stone around the wall, but it looks like this entire chamber is built kind of like an eggshell. So you're able to cut away the stone, but they reinforce this room in particular.
Oh, joy.
Is there a way I can, like, hack through the computer console?
Let's see if you can.
Yeah,
That
but
is
say
going
that's
to-
what.
That is going to require your insight plus your science. And this isn't going to be an immediate thing, because you need to learn first how to hack it, essentially. But this is going to be a long, extended task for trying to figure out how to hack inside the door.
Science, not engineering?
It could be engineering as well.
Okay.
I'm guessing whether you're trying to hack it with computer, using the computer, or you're trying to actually, like, hack it manually. No, go with engineering.
Yeah. What was the difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be 3.
Okay. Then I would like to spend another memento, please.
And we had another one bought, so we are currently at 4.
Yeah.
Plus any that might have gotten added by Anbara's.
Yeah, because
incredible success on that.
I got 2 before, so... Yeah, okay. That is 3 successes.
Okay, so as you start to analyze the makings of the door, you realize that it's not impossible. You think you could probably hack it within the next 10 minutes. It's going to be very delicate work, though.
Okay.
One, it's not so much that Cardassians are the best at, like, they're good at encrypting things, but their tech, especially old tech from the war, not the most sturdy. But your concern is you break the door, and that the door would then just be sealed forever.
Okay.
So that's why you have to go slowly and with precision. Otherwise, you're going to turn this from essentially a safe into a welded iron box.
Okay. Commanders, I think I can bypass the locking mechanisms. It's just this is very old, irritating tech, and if I if the wrong thing breaks from just its age, nothing is getting in there. So just make sure nobody bothers me.
Take the time you need.
How much longer do we think we have on the planet from it exploding?
You would have to access the tech to see what's going on with the planet
Okay.
and what the creature's doing.
Well, I know we had an estimate at the beginning.
Oh,
was just
right
wondering.
now, you have about an hour left based on the clock that the captain gave you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was just gonna say the captain gave us like 2 hours. So Rozrin's gonna say, Commander Halana, should I start just trying to get people to the runabout?
Yes, but once that process starts, I need you there watching that situation.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Then he's gonna say, okay, then I'll start leading people to where the runabout is.
Several of the people don't want to go. They kind of like stand there. They're all clustered over in the corner and they're all sitting down. It looks like they've actually literally brought out Kanar and tea and they're enjoying a beverage. But the majority of the crew look like they're like, oh, we're going with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have time to try to talk people out of, doing that. So Rozrin's not going to bother. He's just going to take the people who immediately want to go and start leading, including like the Federation. Well, any of the Federation people who don't, because I assume the Bajoran is with them because he was with Anbara. So I assume he's with them like at the door watching stuff. And
Yep.
Gold Danvers is there helping with the door. But
Glenn DeVries.
Glenn DeVries, yeah. And if the 2 Federation officers want to come,
We sent them on ahead with the
okay,
medical.
all right, cool. So they're already over there. So then, yeah, Roger will lead who's ever left that wants to go and start trying to make his way to the runabout, so that as soon as they're done, whichever way it goes, because I assume the other Federation officer, the one that was giving him information, is in there, but in that room with him. So yeah, that's what Rozrin's going to do then. I was just trying to get the lay of where everybody was. That's all. I was just trying to get it straight in my head. So
Okay. Rozrin heading back towards the runabout, and the other 3 are just outside the command room. With Anbara, you've already propped open the side of it. You're going through the casings. You are slowly maneuvering around whatever the Cardassian version of those computer chips are, the isolinear chips.
Yeah.
What is Halana and Chagrin doing?
She's in like a very precarious position where it's just like those Jenga maneuverings. Nobody breathe.
I'm gonna back us away from where Anbara is working and try to get this Bajoran to talk.
Chagrin is debating going to get the giant orb casing to use as a battering ram should this fail. But I will sort of be standing to the side, sort of, since Rozrin is like leading them there, I will sort of take over the getting them out, maybe dropping and having a drink of I forgot the not Shaloud. Kanar.
That stuff is
Have a drink with them and sort of commiserate with them. Sort of everyone decides when they go down with the ship and just sort of.
Several of them don't want to share their Kanar with you, but one of them's like, it's gonna die anyways. So they share it with you. It's pretty good Kanar, very well aged. It's an alcoholic syrupy drink, if we're curious. But no, one of them goes, expect you to give up, Federation.
You have every right to go down with your ship.
Well, we're on a planet.
Oh, what is a planet but a ship? I heard the Earthlings at in Florida have a spaceship of Earth that they pilot.
he's as mad as the Bajoran, which is weird because the Bajoran wasn't that mad when they got here. You just keep drinking?
Again, I spend a little time with them. I spend a little time, most of my time, since Rozrin is leading people from here to the shuttle, scurrying the last of the people out, doing final checks to make sure they don't have weapons with them.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
Halada, you bring the Bajoran over to the side, and the Bajoran, very unsteady, hands underneath his armpits, now, like, it's almost as if he's counting the number of cracks in the floor.
What did they say his name was?
Xeris.
Xeris. I need you to tell me more about what's going on, please.
I told you, the prophets sent an angel to destroy all of the Cardassians.
And if the prophet sent it, why did the Cardassians think they control it?
Face turns red, and now he's redoubling his efforts to count the cracks in the floor, and he just freezes up.
Did you give them any information about how to do this? In the hopes that it would backfire on them?
Tears start to form in his eyes. It was only supposed to attack the planet.
How did you know how to do this?
We've been here for so long. So long. And the Federation officer, he broke. He wanted to do anything to get out of it. So they started treating him better. Better food. He got anything he wanted. He became best friends with the Gull. And I wanted that treatment too, because there's only so many badly replicated meals that you can eat. The treatment of us did get better over time, but a dog stuck in a cage is going to start to hate the cage. And when I knew what they were wanting to get out of the Federation computer core, which was badly damaged, I saw an opportunity because I worked in stellar communications and I'm a pretty good engineer. I mean, not as good as, you know, your lieutenant commander over there. Or, yeah. I figured out what they were doing, and when I read over the records, I figured out pretty quickly how to sort of communicate with the creature. It's not an exact science. What the Gull said was true. You could sort of nudge it. Like, it's not like a dog where you can give it a complex command. It's an intelligent entity, but it goes a lot on instinct. And yeah, we can tell it to move, to go attack something, go. What he says is fetch. It's really literally going to go to your ship and try to catch it, and we will destroy it utterly. And I'm ready to go home. Physically, preferably, but mostly spiritually, and I have been for years now. But they weren't going to let us commit that act, which the prophets would find abhorrent. And I thought if I could take out this installation, it might help the war. That's still ongoing, isn't it?
Well, this faction thinks it is, but for the most part, peace treaties have been signed.
Well, I just wanted to end them. So I discovered a way to nudge the creature to attack the planet. The beam, though, it's not strong enough to attract any of the more complicated one. So we found what we think is a baby, and we welcomed it here to feed. And it's a baby, so it can't digest the same amounts of matter that the adults can. But it's still pretty effective. But I wasn't trying to destroy your ship. I was just trying to destroy them. And it appears, thanks to the Federation officer in there, they've figured out how to make it attack your ship.
So if I get you in there, can you get it to come back here?
I believe so. They're very simple, but I don't know. Maybe.
Are you willing to at least try? Because having to reverse engineer what you all did is going to take longer.
I can try, but I don't know if it'll be successful.
That's better than spending time I don't have trying to figure out how you all did this.
Then I can try. I know nothing about locks, though.
That's Commander Anbara's job. And I'm sure she's doing a fantastic job.
Commander Anbara,
Yes.
as you are trying to hack inside of the machine, which is still an extended task, and you're going to be making a roll in a second, you hear some footsteps, and there is someone next to you, and they slowly settle down into the dirt, and you see it's Glenn Woe, the Bajoran Cardassian, who is just looking at you with curiosity. What are you doing?
That was going to be my question for you.
Well, one, you can't pull that'll cause it to short out, and two, are you sure that you can hack Cardassian technology? This is some of the most sophisticated technology in the universe.
My heart bleeds for all of the things that you do not know, you child.
Child? Why are you with them?
I already told you. My question is, why are you choosing to remain and follow blindly the things that they tell you when they treat you as inferior? Because you know you're an abomination to them, right? Like, that is something that I imagine they made you keenly aware of.
I am wanted by no one, so I have made my own way.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch you were wanted by...
Oh, I am wanted by no one, so I've made my own way.
Why not make your way with people who would actually appreciate your talent and ability rather than seeing half of you as repugnant?
Because they're Cardassian. They
not.
are people.
They are your people. You're not mine. And the people inside this room would be more than happy to watch you die horribly, just to spite the rest of us for being foolish enough to think you wanted to be saved. Now, do you want to die with them, or do you believe that you are worth saving? Because I think you are, even if you are misguided. Oh, God. What even is this? And she just starts, like, cursing under her breath.
That's the EPS relay, but you have to be careful. You're gonna blow it.
If you guys could actually use components that weren't degraded by what looks like various forms of acid. This is, oh my god. Ugh.
Oh yeah, that's the voles. We have a nasty vole infestation.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. By the prophets. So you haven't answered my question. Do you want to die here with the rest of the true believers? Or live and find something new?
I want to live, just so I can prove to you that I was right. And with that, he points at a section of the wiring that you couldn't really see that well before, and holding a little flashlight, he gives you the ability to just like notice a section that would help you with like hacking the lock.
Yay!
So go ahead and make another roll. This one is going to be difficulty of 4.
Okay.
Because it is still a very difficult task that you're attempting. You're slowly gaining the momentum to overcome it.
Yeah.
But this is a really difficult extended task.
I would like to spend the 3 momentum again for 2 extra days.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Oh god. Okay. Ugh. Yes.
I was hoping for all 20s because that would be great.
Okay. And I don't think any of my specs apply. Otherwise, some of these would be criticals. But alas, still 4 successes.
Okay, so, you with his help, it is getting slightly easier to open it. You think you've probably got another 10 minutes, and before you get the door open, but you can hear already the gizmos inside starting to whirl. The rest of you who are outside the corridor, you can hear like the door. It sounds like it's the gyros are starting to kick in. And the hydraulics want to move. Essentially, what Anbara is doing is she's just manually opening the door, almost like 1 inch at a time. Rozrin, you're very good at counting. You've made your way into Starfleet. You are very well educated, so you're able to count how many Cardassians should be in your care.
Right.
And 2 have disappeared. It's shortly as you were coming back to the runabout with your latest group of Cardassians that you were like, there were 2 here that aren't here now. Where did they go?
This stuff makes my spots itch. I hate this crap. It's bad weather. You know, seriously, why do they have to make things so difficult? That's what Rozrin's like thinking in his brain. So he's gonna let the doctor know. He's like, I'm missing 2 Cardassians. I guess better go find their scaly asses before they do something bad. So he's
do you
gonna
want me to
go
go with? Do you want me to go with you, or do you want me to stay here and watch the Cardassians?
Yeah, just stay here. Watch the Cardassians that are here and stuff, and take care of the Federation officers. Have them help you, if necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you going to look for the 2 missing Cardassians?
Well, first I'm going to try to scan for life signs. I assume I have some kind of tricorder or something that I can scan about and see, if I can. Well, I mean, easiest is easy. He's going to just look. I mean, if he can see anything, he assumes it's still storming and all this crap, so that's probably not going to do anything. But if just looking, around doesn't lurk, he's going to try to use the tricorder to try to find him.
You would know that you could probably use the runabout, and using the sensors that were set up by Anbara earlier, you find the 2 Cardassians. They are climbing the side of the mountain, heading towards the top. But you notice that they're carrying what appear to be small antimatter charges.
Where the hell did they get those? I thought I took all their stuff. Crap. Now I gotta go after them. Okay. Alright. Because... long-suffering sigh here. Okay, yeah, so he's gonna start booking it over there. Okay, they're in there trying to do stuff. They can't be setting off antimatter charges. So he's, gonna go after him and follow. And he's gonna let...
Go ahead.
Well, he's gonna. Well, he wants to go after him, but then, and he starts to do so because that would be his instinct. But I suppose you should let the commander know what he's doing before he goes running off. So before he leaves the runabout, he's gonna be like, Commander Halata,
Yes.
I'm at the runabout, and 2 Cardassians have taken some antimatter devices to the top of the mountain.
Do you think it would be faster for you to go after them or for me to send Commander Chagrin?
If Chagrin wants to come with me, I would welcome his help.
I will page Commander Chagrin and let him know the situation.
I will meet him on the way.
Chagrin and I blanked on your name even though I've been saying it all night.
Rozrin.
Rozrin.
Yeah.
Almost said Rosalind like the donut chain.
Oh, nice.
Go ahead and roll your insight plus security.
Difficulty on the roll?
Difficulty would be of 2.
Oh, yay! 2.
Yeah, I got 2.
So you both know the antimatter charges are probably just very routine explosives, but as you start to pursue the 2 Cardassian soldiers, it's then that you realize they're probably going to try to use them to sabotage the transmitter from the outside.
Yeah, we need that transmitter to be working.
Can we... How close are they to us?
It would be, it's a climb. Right now it's going to be your endurance versus theirs.
I mean, is it possible for me just to holler up at them?
They could probably hear you.
How far do phasers reach?
Yeah. I'm debating it, but my worry is they're going to fall down the mountain and break their necks. So I'll be like, what the hell do you think you are doing? And
That's when you hear, for the true way!
Oh, no.
I look at Rozrin.
It's just like, well, can we reach them with phasers? Yeah, but yeah, if they don't want to drop it, Rozrin's just gonna be like, well, roughing it. So he's gonna start.
Chagrin will say, if we can't catch up with them, I'm going to start taking pot shots.
Right. Got it.
Actually, could we do, like, suppressing fire to try and get them to, like,
stop.
Go to dirt?
Yeah.
You could.
Alright.
That will be your combat.
Okay.
Alright. So that is going to be your,
Roll security?
yeah.
What in security?
Control.
Control. Okay, and Rajan has hand phaser focus, so.
Nice.
Chagrin has hand weapons.
I'm going to say that because of the fact that it is stormy and the fact that they've got plenty of cover, you're going to need 1 additional success for this one. So it's going to be 3 successes.
Ugh.
I will spend the momentum to get an extra die.
Oh
I'm
my
going to use
god.
a level of threat to cancel that die.
Oh no. Well, the dice were not doing for me before, but now they gave me a 4 and a 6, so I will take 3 successes. Unless
I got 3 successes as well, 1 critical and 1 normal.
Yeah, I was not rolling well at the beginning, but all of a sudden my dice were like, well,
You got the 2 shooty boys.
yes.
The chief of security and the old soldier.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the whole point of being a commander, is knowing who to command to do what?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of news who she was sending. Yeah, so
as you're firing up the mountainside, as you're doing like just like suppressing fire, you catch one of them in the leg, which stops him from climbing. Even though it's a stun beam, his leg has stopped working.
Yeah.
So you see the Cardassian look at the other, he tosses him the bag that contains one of the antimatter charges, and you see this Cardassian essentially just lie down looking at you but it looks like he's ready to just fight you hand to hand if need be. And the other Cardassian is trying to climb much faster.
Well, we do have a reroll in chat.
Oh, thank you, chat, for giving them a reroll.
Yeah. So Rozrin's like, do we want to stay with this one or keep going for the other?
Keep going.
He's trying to shout over the storm. Yeah. Like, should we stay with this one or both of us keep going?
Keep going. He's all
right.
Well, as I'm is he armed at all, or did he just have the?
He is not armed, but he is assuming what you've known to be a traditional Cardassian soldier fighting stance. He is.
Yeah.
His leg's not working that well, but he's ready to throw down.
Yeah, we'll just sort of take a way around him.
Yeah.
He tries to shimmy to get into your way. If you're trying to move around him, you're going to need to make a fitness plus security.
What's the difficulty?
It's going to be contested because he wants to play.
Oof. Fitness is actually my weak spot.
Since Chagrin is going, then Rozrin's gonna keep, he's like, okay, I'm gonna, because we don't want this guy getting to the top. So, and he figures Chagrin can handle this injured guy. So Rozrin's just gonna, try to use that fight to get, because he can only, get at one of them. So he's just gonna be like, okay, you do that. I'm gonna keep.
All right, so fitness security. That is 1 success.
He got 2.
All right.
So Chagrin, he throws himself at you, and it's all you can do to keep from falling off the mountain. He is in your arms, pretty much your traditional traditional Star Trek fighting style of you pushing each other back and forth,
grabbing each other by the shoulders and sort of rocking back and forth.
Only the best special effects for this episode.
There's nice foam rocks laying around, right?
There are.
Yes, the two-handed overhead fist. Yes, yeah.
Rozrin, are you going to help Chagrin, or are you going to keep going up the mountain?
Chagrin's got it. I don't want these antimatter things going to the top. So Rozrin's going to keep going after this guy because they're going to be boned if this guy gets to the top and stops the transmitter. So he's going to trust that Chagrin has that guy.
We're also up to 3 momentum because chat purchased us 1.
All right. So what do I roll to try to catch up to the chat?
Thank you, chat. You also need to roll your fitness plus security.
All right, excellent. Okay, can I use a momentum, please? If everybody doesn't mind, I want everyone to catch this guy. We don't need explodey things.
Yeah.
More than is already necessary.
What do you do? Why does nobody want me to win? I'm just the bad guy. I think you guys can see it from my perspective for a change.
I will take 2.
From my perspective, the Jedi are evil.
No.
2 successes.
Okay. You
if it helps, I respect their belief. I respect their resolve, if that helps.
He appreciates the fact that you respect him, because that's really what he was hoping for. It does not enable him, it doesn't make you faster, but you do catch up to him.
Sweet.
As he is now burdened down with the antimatter charges. He has made it all the way to a section of the mountain that was obscured by just from the ground level, where you can see what looks to be a power junction. He is right up against it, and he is holding both charges in his hands, and he looks like he's getting ready to push what appear to be manual triggers on either side of them. And you are right up next to him, and he's like, stay back. Stay back or I'm going to detonate it.
Crap. Is this like a dead man switch type situation? Like if I shoot him, like he lets go and it explodes, or does he actually have to say, oh man.
Roll your insight plus security.
Sweet. Oh, I got a 1. So that, yeah, I got a 1. So I had a success.
Well, it's not. Short answer, no. There's no dead man switch. It looks like
Okay.
he just stole essentially a couple of like bricks of C4 that he was going to detonate.
Okay, alright. Okay, so options are run at this guy and take him down. Try to shoot him in such a way so that I just take him out completely so he can't hit those buttons. Shooting the detonator, I'm not an engineer. I don't know if that would set things off. Three options. And he's got two of them or just one?
Two. He's got both.
Two. Crap. Taking him out is going to be the best way to do it then, because I can't just like shoot one of them because then he has the other. And I think am I like right on top of him, or like how close am I to him?
You're about 10 feet away.
Yeah, phasers. I mean, it's gonna have to be. He's gonna try to take like the deadest shot that he can, so this guy is out before he hits the ground, so that he can't hit the thing. I think that's the best move, unless somebody else has some epiphany here. Oh, please. I do have hand phasers.
Okay.
And how many momentum do we have?
2 now, because did you spend one?
I did.
Yeah, so 2, so you can purchase an extra die if you'd like.
What do you guys think? Worth it?
Yes.
Or no? Okay.
Is it still a difficulty 3?
No, it's gonna be difficulty 2.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And Rob, if you could roll your either your control or your fitness plus security.
Do control. That's much better.
All right. Okay, no crits, but 3 successes. 11, 10, and 8.
All right.
So, awesome, 3 successes. So
I
Roz
got-
are just like quick draws.
I got 2 successes.
Okay, Rob, you cancel out his one. As you're wrestling with him, you manage to throw him over your shoulder, and the poor little Cardassian goes flying down the mountainside. He's bouncing off rocks all the way down. It was him or you in that situation.
Yeah.
And then, Rozrin, you managed to get your phaser blasts. Roll a d6 for me.
All right. Come on. Do I need to do low or high or heck, whatever? It doesn't matter. Okay.
This is just to determine the
3.
damage. This is the effect die, essentially.
3.
Pretty good. You hit him pretty hard. He is heavily stunned. He is still up, but you do see his hand slip. It's not like the bombs are going to detonate and hit the ground. They do start to hit the ground, and he is barely standing. But you hit him square in the chest, so he's kind of just like holding his knife out, like, ah.
Yeah. Move. Booking it over there and grab those damn detonators.
All right. Rob, what are you doing after you threw the guy off the mountain?
I'm going to make my way up towards the peak.
Okay.
He said, as you wish.
All right, you managed to make it up there because you can see where the handholds are.
Yeah.
Rozrin, you're going to make your roll first. Again, that's going to be fitness plus security just to try to yank them out of his hand.
Sweet. That is actually a very good roll for me. So, awesome. Fitness and... Sweet! 2 successes.
All right, he's going to try to say no because he wants to keep these bombs. And he has a complication. And a success, but a complication.
Yes.
So you managed to yank the devices out of his hand.
Sweet. Awesome. Give me that.
What are you going to do?
Looks over at Chagrin, who's probably just arrived. Well, Commander?
Has he been disarmed?
He has.
Yeah.
Well, your 2 options are you can either agree to come with us to the runabout and be rescued off this planet, but probably brought up on charges, or if you'd like to, we can just stun you and leave you at the bottom of the mountain.
In that case, I think I'd rather you take me prisoner.
That's the smart choice.
Sweet.
For you two, it'll take a while for you to come down the mountain. Rob, you find the body of the Cardassian who did not make it. Back inside. So, Anbara, you managed to find the right combination. Click, click, boom. The door slowly slides open. You both have your phasers ready. Right as the door opens, Davros is there as well. The lab is well lit. It's really bright. Brighter than what Cardassians would prefer, so you can tell it's been set to a human. And there's a strange smell that just assaults your senses. That seems weirdly familiar for those of you that fought in the Dominion War, but can't quite figure out what's going on, like what that smell is.
To be clear, I am absolutely willing to shoot the Federation guy too.
Yeah.
Because I am expecting him to be trying to shoot us.
Oh, good thing I didn't have a mouth of water. I almost did. I was like...
Can I attempt to, like, scrutinize what the smell is? Because, like, basically, I don't want to walk into something that'll explode.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you, because you would know it better than anyone else. It's the smell of blood.
Yeah, so I guess phasers drawn. Let's see what we're dealing with.
Yep, I will take point since Rozrin and Chivrin are outside.
The moment you walk in deeper into the lab, something collides with you both. You almost fire your phasers at it when you realize that it is a very terrified looking human. About 5'6", you know, just very thin, but looks pretty much well groomed. And he's saying, "You have to get me out of here. You have to get me out of here."
Doors that way.
Wait, how do we disable the, how do we control the beacon?
The Bajoran's gonna help us with that.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad to get out of here. And he starts to run away.
I'll tell Chivrin and Rozrin that he's outward bound. Catch him. Make sure he doesn't die. Debrief can happen if he's not panicking.
The Xeris who's with you goes, "That was the other human. Weird."
What?
We'll figure it out.
When you go deeper into the command room, you see that there is pretty much a large circular area, and there is a large chair up against the console. You see what appears to be a Cardassian sitting in the chair, his hands in his lap.
Okay. Is he reacting at all to our presence?
Doesn't appear to be.
Excuse me, Gull?
Do you approach him?
Poke. Phaser?
Slumps over.
Okay. That's probably not good, but, I, as a player, I'm so bad at names, but Bajoran
Anbara?
and Anbara make it work.
Yeah.
And I will look at this situation.
Awesome. That sounds great. I like this plan. Let's get to work.
If the chair is mobile, I am going to pull it away.
It does slide away. He's clearly dead, and it looks to be what appears to be a phaser wound just below here has just blown into his neck and vaporized portion of his skull.
Okay, so I am assuming that the human did it,
Yeah.
or that he did it to himself, but I am also keeping an eye out in case there is an unknown third party.
Okay.
Your theory is proven by the fact that you don't see a phaser in the gull's hand. Anbara.
Yes.
This will actually go ahead and roll your engineering, your insight and engineering, real quick.
Okay. What is the difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be 2.
Okay. Do we have momentum to spare or no?
Let me check. We have 3 momentum right now.
I would like to spend 1. Okay. And then, yeah, no, I don't think any of my focuses would apply to this. So, that would be 3 successes.
Okay.
So 1 momentum back.
Do you want to spend that for more information?
Yes.
So when you sit down at the console, you learn that the console's been locked out to what appears to be a pad that's responding in the nearby vicinity. You also learn that there are several programs up and running on the screen. One of them appears to be the communication circuit, and it looks like it's been heavily modified so that it's someone else's voice when spoken into.
Okay. Whose voice?
Do you speak into it?
Her?
You hear the gull's voice coming out.
How long has the gull been dead?
It looks like he's been dead for over a week.
Oh no!
So I will update Rozrin and Shivrin that went from a hey, stop him if you see him to a hey, find him.
Yeah, when I got the word, I was gonna be on the lookout for them.
Oh
Like
no!
coming out of the entrance.
Rozrin's like, boy, I'm glad I did endurance training in the Hollow Suites a couple days ago. As he's shouting over the storm.
Anbara, as you were looking at the screen, it's thanks to the sensors locating the slab, you have a pretty clear view into the local solar system. And you can see where the Cerynitis is currently leading the crystalline entity, the Snowflake, on a merry little chase. Unfortunately, the Snowflake's starting to win. It's not quite neck and neck, but no matter what the Cerynitis tries to do, no matter what maneuver it tries to do, the Snowflake is right on it. And it looks like it's getting dangerously close into the range of its tractor beam. It's a credit to the helmsman of the Cerynitis that they've managed to stay alive this long. But you can tell you've got not long before the Snowflake catches up to the Cerynitis and destroys it.
Is there a way I can send it somewhere else? Like,
Glenn Woe sits next to you and goes, the equipment here it's sophisticated, but we're still researching into these entities. Pretty much we can only give it simple command. We can send it here or let it keep going after the ship. It would take hours to formulate a new algorithm to try to make it go after another target.
All right, let's get it here and
Planet's
then try
already
to.
dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to try to make it attack the planet.
Yes.
Okay. It is going to be incredibly difficult because this is pretty much you're trying to go into a military computer and do all of this. It is going to be difficulty of 5. It is going to involve your engineering plus either your reason or your insight. Is anybody going to be helping you, or is there anything that you would have that would apply to this situation?
Let's see. I mean, reason and insight are fine. I have computer expertise and let's see. I don't know if regimented mind would help or not, but focuses are cultural studies, warp field dynamics, transporters and replicators, electroplasma power systems, fusion reactors, and linguistics. So I don't know if any of those help.
I would say linguistics would, because you're essentially trying to communicate with, a bird call, essentially.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then I guess if the Cardassian Bajoran guy could help me too, that would be cool, right?
And only one person can aid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I was going to suggest Halada, because don't you have that talent that allows you to use your command in place of something else?
Mm-hmm.
Come here, entity. Come on. Come here.
So,
What
yeah.
is the
Good
the
entity.
difficulty?
5.
Five.
And
Okay.
you do have determination that you can spend.
Yes.
We just need to figure out what the crystalline version of is.
What? How do I spend? Because that's spending one of the values, right?
Yes,
have
it
to-
has to fall
you
in
have to
line with.
file.
It
Okay.
has to fall in line with one of your values, and
So,
what it does.
new life, new civilizations.
A little generic, but I'll allow it.
I mean, and then I also have family as who you choose, and this is my family here, so kind of want to save them.
I have the crew as family as well.
Yeah. And then the other one I have is everything is ones and zeros because this is a Unix system, and I know this. So
Jurassic Park.
yes, I did. So which one do you think would be best, and how does spending one of the values work?
I'm going to say that it's going to be ones and zeros.
Okay.
Because you're hacking the computer.
Yeah.
Essentially, and trying to figure out this really complex algorithm.
Yeah.
I'm blanking actually because we haven't had to do one of those in a while.
The way it works is you get a bonus die that automatically rolls a 1, so it gives you essentially 2 successes. Then you get to roll your 2 die as normal, and you can spend momentum as normal.
And you want to fail. That's not true.
So-
You actually want to succeed, but
To fail
What was-
forward.
The attribute was insight.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'll use that talent to do insight plus command on my die to aid, because I am ordering you to do this thing.
Halada's the best cheerleader.
And I did get a success.
you're at 3. You need 2 more.
Okay. Okay. So I'm sorry. Spending the value automatically gives you successes, or no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gives you automatically 2 successes.
Cool.
So you're at 3 right now.
Cool. How much momentum do we have?
I believe 3.
Okay. I would like to spend 1 for a third dice then.
For
All right. Cool. Let's go.
What did you say?
Fuck.
I just said go for it.
Ah,
And I dropped one of my dice.
no.
Immediate complication.
Okay. I have 3 successes because I got 1 regular success and then a natural 1.
All right. So
Excellent.
that gives you a total of 6 successes. So
Yeah.
despite not having the keypad, you do manage to break into the computer system. It looks like when they did the original programming, it was very, very simply coded. With Xeris there, Xeris just points at several parts of the screen and he starts to tap on the control pad. You see it realigning. He kind of looks at you with a very haunted look on his face. If we call the creature now, it's going to come here within 10 minutes. We're not going to have that much time to get off the planet. Are you sure you want to do this?
Is it going to come directly here, or is it going to go back to where it was at on the planet, where we still had about an hour and a half before it got here?
It looks like it's going to come directly here.
How long does it take to get to the runabout?
It'll take you probably about, if you really run, 8 to 9 minutes, possibly some change.
Can we set it up on a delay? Can we give ourselves 10 minutes and then it sends the signal and then we're already gone?
Anbara, you can see that Snowflake's almost on the Cerynitis.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be last so much longer.
We have to. Yeah.
Could we use the beam? Could we just beam them aboard?
You mean beam people into the runabout?
Yeah.
The shielding of the this is Davros. The shielding of the facility prevents it.
Of course it does.
There's no way to turn that off, right?
Xeris sits down in one of the console chairs and says, I can buy you an additional 5 minutes on top of that. I know a way to manually stagger the beam, which should slow the creature's approach.
I hate to ask you to do it.
I was ready to move on a long time. But I'm not ready for you to pay the price of my greed.
Is there someone we should let know what happened?
Kind of reaches off to his side and pulls out a pouch that jingles like it's a coin purse. And he offers it respectfully, but also kind of in a hurry to Anbara. Like, here, take this, but, not like shoving it at her.
Yeah.
It is full of the earrings of all the Bajorans.
In this situation, is it appropriate to ask for his as well?
Oh, yeah, he unclips it and hands it.
Okay. I will see to it that they are honored. And return to the prophets.
Thank you. And now we run.
Respectfully nods his head and he starts tapping away.
Yeah.
You hear the facility power up. Those of you that were still outside, the ground shakes. Of course, the power going through this transmitter. You don't see anything visually, except inside the facility where like the lights. The Cardassians who are sitting and drinking and having tea are all singing old Cardassian war songs, just very happily. They are very, very drunk at this point. But several of them you see are just kind of like, saluting each other and are prepared for the end. The remaining technicians, though, aren't as brave. As the facility starts to shake more from the planet, because the planet seems like it's starting to just come apart, they bolt and they run after you. It is a mostly full runabout by the time you get there. The runabout's at max capacity. With the Federation crew, and with all the Cardassians that were inside the facility, there's really not much leg room at all. I'm not going to make you guys roll, but it is very heroic, as just lightning is just smashing around you. You can see way off in the distance what appears to be a giant creature approaching the planet. Who is piloting the craft?
It's probably going to be me again. Did Chivrin and Rozrin manage to corner that human, or is he just dying with the planet?
Yeah,
we
were looking for him.
Yeah.
That's right. So moving back the clock a little bit, how are you searching for him?
Well, we know where the exit to the base is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can try to. Yeah.
Yeah, keep an eye, as we're coming down the mountain, keep an eye on that area.
Russian's like, hey, Commander, have you ever known a Cardassian never to make anything difficult just out of curiosity? I mean, I know he's not a Cardassian, but, just out of curiosity.
Not particularly, nah, but...
That's what I thought.
Running out of the facility looks to be just like a very, emaciated but well-dressed Federation officer. Like, his uniform looks like it's been freshly repaired. And when he sees you, his eyes are just so wide. He's like, oh my god. Oh, thank you. We've got to get out of here.
Have we gotten the call from Halada?
And I absolutely told you he's a traitor.
Yeah, have we gotten that call yet?
I think you have.
I'm gonna stun him. The planet's falling apart.
We don't have time for this.
He's a murderer. We're just gonna stun him and take him with us.
Make your roll.
All right.
And there's not a lot of room. We can just strap him to the hood of the runabout.
I am going to use...
That will still kill him.
Yeah, I don't want him to be dead. I want to know what happened here.
I mean, we're trying to save space.
I would
Yeah.
like to use one of my values. For every problem has a solution, and this is the fastest solution I can think of right now. So if that works, that will be a total of 3 successes.
Let's see if that works. Just got 2.
Okay.
So literally, the moment you draw at him, it's a quick draw. Your blast hits him as his right arm comes out from right behind him, and you see a small disruptor go flying.
Mm-hmm.
He is
Got him
stunned.
before he cleared leather.
When you grab him, you see that there is a pad, which just has a big error message on it. Likely because Anbara managed to take away control from it.
All right. Well, we'll bring it along with us as evidence. And
Yep. Nice shot, Commander.
well, thank you.
Now I need you to have a little Stetson hat with holes for your antenna.
Antenna. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. So Halada, you got to get
Yes.
off this planet.
Yes.
The Snowflake is overhead, and
Yes.
Snowflake is starting to begin its assault.
Yay!
So
I gotta dodge tractor beams and debris and.
Darn snowflakes coming and ruining Star Trek.
Oh no, no, we're not
You know
playing
what?
this game.
You know what? Snowflake came to me randomly, and I thought that's a cool name.
I'm sorry.
I need something today.
I'm sorry.
How many successes do I need?
Well, before you roll,
Okay.
so everyone else that's on the ship, what would you be doing that might help the situation? Not just with assisting the roll. What do you think your character would be doing that would give you the best chances of success?
I imagine Anbara's doing the Scotty and giving it all she's got, Captain.
Okay.
Just like pushing like every bit of juice out of the engines that, she can manage from whatever, systems that aren't precisely needed at this exact moment.
Okay. So you're going to be using your engineering skill.
Yes.
Rozrin, is there anything that you would be doing?
Yeah, but at some point while we're carrying this Federation officer back, Roger will say, maybe we should have just gone along with him and stunned him a little closer to the runabout. Just saying.
This is it's easier this way.
I mean, I needed my workout. Yeah, Rosram's going to be making sure that everybody is like as strapped down as they possibly could be.
Okay.
Hang on, everybody. Crew thing. He's just making sure everybody, has something to hang on to or, whatever and stuff. Making sure everybody's secure.
You're gonna be happy we're as packed in as sardines when this thing starts to rock.
I mean, do we have seatbelts? Like, I've never seen seatbelts.
If they had seatbelts, they wouldn't be like,
I will say that the toy of the shuttle did have a strap on it.
Yeah.
Both on the main seat and the things that flop down in the back to sit on.
Yeah, well, we're probably so packed in, it doesn't matter anyway. It's just like...
Great. Rob, what would you be doing?
Chagrin is putting back on his captain's hat for the first time in a long time, and I'm getting the Starfleet officers that we had saved to help do, essential things around the runabout so that basically relaying what Anbara wants them to do.
Okay. All right,
I'm hoping that my soothing, commanding voice grants them some serenity after their imprisonment.
Okay, so before we get to Halada, Anbara, roll for me your control plus engineering. Because you're trying to push the engines of this ship to do things way beyond what they were normally meant to do. In a hurry.
Can I get either warp field dynamics or electroplasma power systems? Or fusion reactors?
Any of those.
Okay,
But only
cool.
one.
Cool. Fabulous. All right, and what's the difficulty?
The difficulty for you is going to be 2.
Okay.
Oh no, that looked like a 20.
No, I did not get a 20. I only got 1 success though.
We have a
Okay.
pending reroll from chat if you want to use it.
Yeah, we do.
Can I?
Yeah, use it. You're the one that's keeping the ship together.
Yeah. Hey, I got a crit success on that one.
You managed to put a little bit more power than probably should go through the EPS grid, but the ship holds together, so the engines roar to life. Halada, you're seeing on your readouts that the engines are now operating at least for the short term, at least 25% more power, which is a lot. Rozrin, all right, so you're just trying to make sure that everybody is, like, hunkered down, everybody is safe, nobody's going to go flying around randomly.
Put your arms over your,
Yeah.
protect your head.
Very much like, in that, in The Force Awakens, where Rey is like, in the Millennium Falcon, and everybody gets anxiety as she's just pulling random parts up. That's exactly what Anbara did. It's just like, this isn't needed, like, safety compressors.
Oh boy.
We're way beyond safety compressors now.
It's very Cardassian.
Exactly.
You don't need a
Rozrin.
redundant system if the first one works.
Exactly.
You need to roll your, I'm going to say it's going to be your daring. Your daring plus your security or command.
Okay. So security's better for me, and daring is pretty good, so. Oh, cool. I got one success.
Okay. You managed to get everybody to kind of hunker down, so the weight's even throughout the ship. Nobody's going to be flying through the air, which, people panicking would be probably really bad. You also managed to keep everybody quiet and not talking. Halada has all our concentration. All right, and Chevrin. So you're trying to give everybody commands to essentially help, Umbala.
Yeah.
Okay. That is going to be your presence plus command.
Presence command. All right. Sorry, I'm doing math right now because I just rolled the dice. That is one success.
Okay. So as you're giving everybody commands, they're doing as best they can with what they've got. It's a short amount of time. But they're helping. Whenever Anbara needs them to do something, like they hand her, a spanner. They help with rerouting antimatter. Halada. So the ship is not quite in serene, but it is as under control as it can be. You see the power grid start to inch just a little bit forward, so you've got like 35% more power. It is your time to book it, just as Snowflakes starts to power up its main digesting beam, as I just read. So you are going to need to roll your control plus your command. Or wait, no, plus con.
How many momentum do we have left?
Have we gotten any from the ones for the rolls right now?
No.
Didn't get one from me, yeah.
We have 2 momentum then.
Okay.
Is there any chance you could use one of your
So my
determination?
values are nature is worth defending, puzzle solver, most comfortable in a crowd, which it's definitely crowded, and the crew is family.
I'd say crew is family.
All right. So I will definitely burn that. I also have a focus in small craft, and I'm going to spend a momentum.
Nice.
So let's see what happens.
All complication.
It is 4 successes plus
Whoa,
the 2 from the
crossing
determination, so 6.
Pretty good.
Nice.
So, thanks to all of the preparation work everybody did, you managed to gun the engines. As the runabout starts to get out of the atmosphere, you start to realize that there's much less atmosphere around you. As Snowflake's assault happened, its beams hit the base right on. In the sensors, you see the mountain. The mountain lasts for maybe about 5 or 6 minutes before it slowly starts to be destroyed. huge swaths of the planet are immediately just turned into particulate matter and absorbed into Snowflake, while you gun it just out of the system. You soon start to realize that the Cerynitis, who was concerned about what was going on, kind of was waiting in the shadow of Snowflake, and it moves in to scoop you up just before the creature, turns its attention, or what you can best tell from a faceless entity, back in your direction. You do a pretty good landing inside of the hangar deck, where then they book it, immediately exiting the system. As soon as the door opens on the Wabash, the captain's waiting there with a fully armed contingent of officers, and they slowly start to lead out all of the Cardassians. The captain walks up to you, shaking his head, going, "That was close. Couldn't have cut it a little, less close next time. I mean, it's gonna take us a while to replace the paint on the hull." He says with kind of a cheeky grin.
Cut it closer.
There were some
closer.
complications. On top of the Cardassians of the True Way, there's one of the humans needs to be taken into custody as well.
That human's woken up, and he's kind of walking around very groggy, and he's just immediately like, Federation ship. I'm on a Federation ship again.
Oh.
Handcuffs.
Yep.
The important thing is that I continue to be a genius, and my
Absolutely.
brilliance cannot be underestimated. So you're welcome, everyone. You're welcome.
Yeah.
A full report incoming, but some of the Cardassians did help us. So don't send them to trial until I actually finish the report.
Yeah.
And make sure, the Federation has comfortable jails, but I mean, we may not even need to put them in cells. It was a very peaceful exchange.
The antagonistic ones mostly stayed behind.
Yeah.
And
I
the
didn't
captain
feel like fighting to make them come.
The captain looks over at the Federation officer, and what about him? Why is he under arrest again?
He was theoretically aiding the Gull who was controlling or attempting to control the crystalline entity, but the Gull's been dead for a week, so the most recent thing was him.
Federation officer just kind of holds his hands in front of us. I know why I did it, and I'm not going to tell you guys. Go ahead and take me to a penal colony. Better than being there.
Rozrin's like, we'll see about that. And he will very happily take the guy to the brig with his security officers. Come on. That's enough.
And with that is the end of our episode. So, you guys managed to negotiate a tense almost firefight. You guys got into a battle on top of the mountain. You got to learn some pretty, depressing stories about some of our NPCs, and you managed to get away from a giant crystalline entity. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I hope all of you at home, thank you for watching, and thank you for giving all my players all of the wonderful rerolls and momentum. And I just want to remind all of you that if you like us so much, feel free to subscribe. We've got some upcoming episodes I think you're going to think are really cool. Tuesday the 8th, we've got 7th Sea, Buy Leaps and Bounties at 8 o'clock. On Saturday the 12th, we've got Seriously, Let's Play Mech Warrior Destiny at 2 o'clock. Go Hell's Horses. On Sunday the 13th, we've got Illuminated Page at 5 o'clock. And finally, next Monday is another Voyages of episode 18, Creeping Thoughts, run by our own Rozrin. Is he going to throw people off mountains? Is he going to shoot people when they walk outside of doors? You have to
Not
tune in to
without
find out.
Rozrin. He would be upset if he does all that without Rozrin. He would be
Is he
very
gonna do
upset.
another? Is he gonna do another creepypasta mystery?
You threw people off a mountain without me. I thought we were friends.
All right. And so with that, thanks again. So live long and prosper.